I am just for situational awareness, I have just clicked the start recording button. So we are recording this presentation. We will be sending it out to all of you who are on it, as well as everyone that actually enrolled to be on it. And it is with my privilege and pleasure to have Scott kick our meeting off. So Scott?
Yes, well, thank you all for taking some time today to meet with us all so that we can introduce this Xenegrade ProTrain partnership to you. We've been working on this for quite some time, both from a technology standpoint as well as working through how we work together as companies so that we can help benefit all our mutual partner organizations, whether that be whatever your organization type is. And you're hearing Betty Gardner on the phone. She is the CEO of ProTrain, and she'll be working through the presentation today, telling you all about ProTrain, the types of courses they offer, some areas they specialize in. I just want to let you know that this integration works so that you're able to pull in the ProTrain courses right into your XenDirect system. Students can browse for those courses on your registration site. You've got a couple of opportunities or options of how you want those to display. They can display in amongst all the rest of your in-classroom offerings that you might have, as well as you can separate them out, give them their own menu link, so you can display them that way as well. We're not going to go into a lot of detail about that today. I think you're all kind of aware of the whole registration process of the way XenDirect works, and this will work just like you're used to. The student will come, they'll search, they'll put it in their cart, they'll check out, except that the registration also gets passed to ProTrain so that they can take over from there and make sure that student receives their training. So without further ado, I'm going to let Betty take over. Thank you, Betty, for working on this with me, and you can take it from here.
You're awesome, Scott. Thank you so much. And again, I want you all to feel so comfortable, like if we were all sitting in our living room together just having a cup of coffee. Our presentation is really simple. It's about how we can help you expand your education to employment offerings with ProTrain. I'm not going to give you a lot of detail because I want to tease you with information that you may want to say, hey, I want a separate meeting with you. I want to have a separate webinar where we can really get to know one another and how we can work together. But rules of engagement for today are really simple. I just want to say thank you so much because I honestly appreciate how valuable everybody's time is. Everybody's got meetings, and I don't know about you all, but January just flew by like I have no idea where it went. I want you to understand who ProTrain is as a business, who we are as people, and our business culture, and how we might be able to fit in with yours. Because if you do partner with someone, you got to know who they are as human beings, and you have to know how you're going to work together. Because that's really important, because we're all servicing the same clientele, students, and we have to do it together. There will be a total of 3 polling questions today. So, that's about it. That's about all I'm going to tax you with today is 3 polling questions. They're real simple. We really encourage you to ask questions as we're going along in our session today. And if you don't feel comfortable asking questions during the session, we actually we provide our email addresses, phone numbers, and all that good stuff so you can contact us at the end because we're very accessible. And I promise you that you will get a link to the webinar that we did today within the next 24 hours because we are recording it. I'm going to go to the next slide here, and I am running all of this. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background, and then I'm going to ask if my COO is on the line because he has been traveling today with one of our school partners. My name is Betty Gardner, and I can't tell you how pleased I am to have the opportunity to speak with all of you all. My entire adult life has been built around continuing education and trying to help those better themselves A little bit about my background. I have been a programmer in a former life. I've done tons of customer service. I have started many computer training facilities, worked with a lot of nonprofits, if you will. And prior to starting ProTrain, I was the director at North Carolina State University in continuing education, specifically in the computer training area. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. We had classes going 7 days a week, 5 nights a week, and working with workforce development, corporate, military, you name it, we were doing it. And we were one of the first adopters of online education. And that was back in 1997. In continuing ed, that was about the turning point that a lot of continuing ed departments said, wow, I can offer some online and I can extend beyond my service area. But I know for brick and mortar, for in-classroom, I must stay in my little service area. And some schools have to follow those policies and some don't. And I was doing that, and we were doing trade shows, technology trade shows. It was just absolutely wonderful. And we were helping people, get jobs, and we were seeing the results of what we were doing. And I just made a conscious decision that I wanted to do it on a bigger scale. So I decided to form ProTrain, and ProTrain was formed in the latter part of 2004. And we work with universities, community colleges, etc., in order to provide online and in-classroom offerings and all the services and support that we'll talk about later on our webinar today and what we do. So I will pause, and I am going to ask if Kevin is on, and if he's not, then I will give you a brief background on our Chief Operating Officer. So I'll pause for a second here.
Good afternoon, Betty. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, technology is working well today. As Betty said, my name's Kevin Smith. I've had the privilege of being the Chief Operating Officer for ProTrain now for just over 4 years. Prior to that, I was with Northrop Grumman in their training and training simulation division, helping doing training business throughout the Department of Defense. For 30 years prior to that, I was in the United States Army. I retired in June 2009, a bird colonel. My background's logistics and training. My last job for the Army was a director of training at Fort Lee, Virginia, where I owned all of about 300 instructional design folks, and we did all the ordnance, quartermaster, and transportation corps training for the Army. Everything in classroom, everything that was achieved through a distance learning modality. So everything from private to sergeant to warrant officer to lieutenant to captain was my charge. So if nothing else, I learned what right looked like and how to make sure that quality education was helping people get into their careers, and in that case it was the Army. In this case, it's now with Betty and helping people realize their career pathway through quality education. Very proud to be on this call today with Betty, and I'll give her back to Mike.
Okay, Kevin, I really appreciate that. We are going to get our first two of three poll questions out of the way so we can get on with business at hand. So bear with me here. I am going to pause my screen, and I am now going to go and give you guys the poll questions. I'm going to select the first one, and I am going to launch it. So you all should now see poll question number 1. So I sincerely ask you all to answer it. It is anonymous, so just answer it very honestly. And I see we're 33% voted, 50% voted, 67, let's go, 83. Come on, there's just a couple of you left to vote. Okay. So it looks like we've got an 83% voted. And I'm going to close the poll. I am going to share the poll results so you all can see. So you can see the results. Looks like pretty typical of what I would think. Any comments from Kevin or from Scott? Are you guys good with those results?
Yeah, I wonder if some of the folks tagged other might actually consider themselves part of the workforce development department, because I know some of our customers split things that way. So I just thought about that as I looked at the poll.
That's a very, very good comment. And as I am trying to manage people's chats and questions here, if anybody wants to, comment on that, I will pay attention to see if we have any comments to share with the group. Okay, thank you very, very much there, Scott. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to close the first question. So give me just 1 second to do that, and bear with me. Trying to be very efficient here. We are going to go with the second question, if I can get that going. Okay. So did that. And I will be very honest with you all. It is my very first webinar. So I've practiced a little bit, and I'm trying to do a good job here for you all. So let's see here. Poll. I'm going to do poll again. Okay, here's the second question. Yes, launch. Launch the second question. And I need to... So John, do you see the second question?
We can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, Betty.
Thank you. Because I am getting some questions from people, and I am trying to juggle both doing questionnaires and poll questions and all that. So if I do not answer your question immediately, please do not feel ignored. You will get your questions answered. So, okay, so we have that one. So now we are closing that poll, and we are sharing that one. So John, let me know if you see the shared answers on question number 2, please.
We can see them.
Yeah, they're displaying properly.
Okay. And Scott, do you have any comments on those?
No, other than that's what we expected to see.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
Everybody does a lot.
Well, and I can tell you, I mean, I've been on the continuing ed side. I've been on the side of, oh my God, I'm working so hard, and does anybody, appreciate me because I'm the first one there, I'm the last one to leave, and I'm expected to run this center, if you will, this unit, and we're supposed to call ourselves, you can't use the word profit. You're sales and receipt oriented, and whether anybody wants to admit it or not, you really are running a small business. I mean, you truly are. And a lot of people, they don't want to admit that readily, but you are, and we all know that we are. And any small business owner, whether you're working for a university or a true small business, you're working all the time, and you are a lot of times unappreciated, and that is one of the reasons ProTrain was formed, is because we appreciate everything that you guys do. So let me get back to make sure that my screen is sharing properly. Okay, so we got that, and people can hear me. And John, I'm going to go to the second slide. Can you see my screen now, John?
You'll need to close out the poll there, Betty.
I'll need to
There
close
you go.
out.
Try sharing your screen now.
Okay,
There you go.
I will. Is that,
Share it again.
Okay, I shall. And it tells me, I'm looking at audience view, and it says that you guys can see the agenda.
Yep, that is the screen that is displaying.
Okay, great. And I told you, John is my godsend. He's always there, and hopefully you all can appreciate it, because I'm sure that you all have in your department somebody that you depend upon as well. So we hope today that we're going to give you a good ProTrain organizational overview. And why would you want to partner with ProTrain? What's the difference? Who are these people? And, you know, are they real people? And are they people I can depend upon? Are they people that I can get when I need them? Phone call, email, otherwise. What's the benefits for the continuing education community in a partnership with ProTrain? You know, you really need to know, what are you going to get out of this partnership? What is our course catalog like? How do we match to high-end demand portable careers? Because we do. Oh my goodness, do you all work with the military? Because ProTrain does. How can we help you do that? We're going to show you our military experience. We're going to show you how we provide partners a total learning solution. And I really hope that one of the goals that I can provide to you today is to show you how we are an extension arm of your unit and how we are world-class partners. We're just not some big name that says, oh, we do these in classroom, or oh, we do these online. We're going to show you how we're real people that help you every day, help you succeed. Because believe me, I've been on the other side of the table, and I've been a CE director, and I know at the end of the year, mid-year and end of the year, I get graded performance plan, and I want to help you have a superior one with our world-class partner support, offering courses that people really are demanding based on Department of Labor statistics. What are ProTrain partners saying? Do they like us? Do they not? Are we real? Are we not? And we're going to talk about the business process of providing ProTrain programs through Xenegrade. And, you know, Scott and Rick, the owner, we are very honored and privileged to work with them. We've known them for several years, just like you all. You go to traditional conferences, whether it be Learn or UPSEA or your regional, conferences. We go to the same ones, and then we as vendors now, because I can say I'm a vendor because I used to be a university person, we partner together and see how we can have synergy in order to help our school partners. And we're going to make sure that we have questions and answers all throughout and even hopefully afterwards. So that's our agenda for today. And I'm going to do a check on myself to make sure that I know what I'm doing here. Okay, the next slide, I'm not going to read it to you. I'm just going to tell you it is near and dear to ProTrain's heart. Education is the one thing that you can give yourself that nobody can take away. We've got economy that fluctuates up, down, every way you can imagine. Your house can be taken from you, your car, your kids, etc. But the one thing that you can give yourself is the gift of education, what you can put between your ears. Or you can provide that to the students that you serve or we serve together. And that is an annuity that can keep on being the gift of giving, because if I work with you, ProTrain works with you, the university or community college, and we can provide that student with that gift of education, then it's showing their kids, their husband or wife, their family members, their friends, what they're doing, and then they got a job, and it totally impacted their life. I mean, goodness gracious, don't we all realize the impact that we have to help impact people's lives? It really is empowering, and I love it. I just absolutely love it, and I hope you do, because I'm going to tell you, I didn't get in continuing education, become rich. I became in this area because I love to help people, and that takes us to our next slide about ProTrain. And what do we do when we hire a ProTrain member? We tell them what our mission statement is, and it's simply we provide affordable training, best-of-breed content to anybody who wants to learn and change their life. I mean, it's really that simple. And then how do we do that internally as a team? our core behaviors. We got to be committed to what we're doing. We got to communicate openly. And I always tell my staff all the time, whether you're talking with a partner such as yourself or a student, we have to communicate openly, and the written word is forever. Do not ever say anything that you're not willing to put in writing, because that really is the telltale of a person. We're going to collaborate across our company. We have core values, and how do we implement those every day in actions? Through our quality, the integrity of who we are as people, and satisfaction. And I think this will mean something to you all as education leaders. Satisfaction means different things to different people. To a student, it may mean, oh, I'm in the wrong class. It's over my head. I might need to see if they'll let me take a lesser class. I might need to, because of life circumstances, see if I can take that class at a later time. Oh, crap, I might need to see if I need a refund. So satisfaction is different to every single human being, and ProTrain works with you, our school partner, and with the students to find out what satisfaction means. And everybody in ProTrain is a leader, because every single person that works with me on our team at ProTrain represents the entire embodiment. So we have to be leaders, and we have to show you, our school partners, and our students that we serve on behalf of you, that we're going to make sure that we take care of business and do it the right way. And we do the same thing with our employees and with our partners. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't sound like I was preaching too much, but it's very, very meaningful to me. So we are more than just a company. ProTrain was founded in 2004. If it helps you all in any capacity whatsoever, we are a 100% woman-owned business. If that helps us in any, RFPs, grants, things that we might do together, we really do have a continuing education turnkey solution that is totally separates us apart from any other third-party provider, because we do the in-classroom, we do the online, and as we continue through our presentation, you'll see some of the other things that we do for you that hands down I don't think you will get from any other partners that you're enjoying working with currently. We're virtual. That's great. We actually learn how to work from our home, going out to events on behalf of you when you approve us to do so. And we learn how to communicate through our voice, through the written word. I will tell you that we did not have to, but in 2013, November, ProTrain became the very first North Carolina virtual proprietary school underneath the umbrella of the North Carolina Community College system. I say that with great pride simply because we were the first one, and they had no idea how you wanted to be a school and you didn't have a brick and mortar building, and we had to explain it, and it took us a better part of the year. And we do not do that to compete with you. We do that for one reason, to show you how serious we are about our education, about our in-classroom and online programs, that they have to be audited, vetted, and we have to go through similar processes that you do to make sure that we are top of the class, that everything that we do is tip-top shape. And I hope that means something to you, because we don't have to do that. Other comparable vendors don't. We do, because we want to show you that we're the best. We are approved, an example, with the Virginia Community College system. We're approved in the entire state to work with any one of the 23 community colleges, because we have a sole source. We have tons of unique courses that meet the education to employment requirements for classes to help people get jobs, because that's pretty much what we're about, education to employment, and we'll go into some more of that. We're very flexible in the customization and bundling of programs. It's not a matter of what you see is what you get. If a student has a question and they're like, oh, I want this, and oh, could I do this? The answer is always yes. Let's just talk about it. And we got over 400 classes online, and the majority of them, when we partner with you and we decide what we want to do in classroom, we decide that we're going to do them because we are exceptionally adept of doing in classroom and online. And I will say that if this helps you all in any manner whatsoever, in December of 2014, we just became approved for the GSA contract, and that is for training. And that is very valuable to each and every one of our partners because there may be opportunities out there that we can work with you to actually respond to a bid that the university, we can bring it to the table that if you are not GSA approved, that ProTrain can use you, and we both share revenue because we are GSA approved, and we can use your name, your credentials, your value proposition, and together as partners we can make things happen. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, please do ask us questions. And again, I'm gonna do a quick check here on questions to see if I'm missing anything because I certainly do not want to disrespect anyone. Okay, I think I'm good right now. We do have a global influence. We have over 200 partners, and we do in-classroom and online, and we pretty much do it every single way that every partner does. People say, oh, it must be so nice to be the CEO. I'm like, well, what do you mean? I got 200 bosses because I do things the way my schools want them to do. So I want you to really hear that. We listen to our partners. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Our continuing ed turnkey solution is really a new approach. I mean, I told you I used to work at NC State many nights. I left and I said, there's got to be some company out there that can help me where I'm not working night and day, and I can be more effective and more productive and make more sales and be able to turn in a end of the year report to my supervisors, to my director, to my dean, etc., and saying, wow, our little department really is, making a difference. So we're trying to make sure that we provide affordable pricing, give you a gracious profit. We're offering the certifications that have national recognition, certificates, and you know what a certificate is. A certificate is a program where you can get a job. There's just not a national recognition. The courses, your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint, etc. And we're going to do that online or in classroom with you, or even blended if you so desire. Trenton Hightower, who is our Vice President of Business Development Strategic Partnerships, he's going to work with you that if you want us to, and remember I'm saying if you want us to, because we only do what you've asked us to do, he can contact corporate clients on your behalf, and we can get group sales together. I will also tell you that ProTrain works very in-depthly with workforce development, WIA, WIA, One Stop. It's called different things in different states. We actually will fill out the paperwork electronically or manually on your behalf for our programs and have you submit them to the local WIA Workforce Development Office. We've actually had some schools that say, oh, you just do it. You just do it, and we'll give you permission, and we'll work with the Workforce Development Office, and you can actually even invoice them, and they'll pay you, and you just cut us back a check. That's not the norm, but I'm going to tell you that has happened. So, love workforce development. We do that all the time. Military, love it. We work on your behalf with the Military Spouse Program for eligible spouses up to $4,000. For eligible active duty members, we work with that all the time. And any school that wants to create in-classroom, but in-seat, if you will, programs, we can help you with veterans. We also have worked with schools on RFPs and grants and helping with events. We're very proud to say that at the end of 2004, we now have a career tracker, GradCast program. So let me explain that to you briefly as a teaser. When a student takes a ProTrain class, your student, and they complete the class, and they're successful, Then ProTrain gives them a gift, and we pay for it. Do not put that burden on the school at all. We give them a gift of where they can then send out 100 resumes to real organizations, probably close to 400 to 500 job openings, 400 to 500,000 job openings, and the student gets to pick who they want, send their free 100 resumes to them, and they actually have the phone number, email address, so they can contact them, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're looking for a job. And then if the first 100 doesn't work for them, it's a really nominal fee of like $39 for the next 100. But ProTrain's giving that out of our profit share to show you the school and your WIA offices and any other government funding that we're serious about our classes. We're serious about helping these people get training and get jobs. I hope that made you smile, because I'm going to tell you, there's not a whole lot of other people doing that. ProTrain is, and we're serious about education to employment. So I'm going to go to the next slide. And the next slide is just talking about our all-inclusive learning methodology. We really do provide a total program solution, and I'm saying that in all sincerity because, again, I sat on the other side of the desk where you guys are at. I know what you need. I know you don't want anybody trying to steal your thunder. I know you want somebody helping you. I know at the end of the day when you do your quarterly or bi-yearly or yearly reports, you want to look good, and I want to help you look that way, because that's what I want to do. I want to be behind the scenes helping you all look good, providing affordable pricing for your students that's more profitable for you in any modality that you want, in classroom, online, blended, got open enrollment. I will also tell you that I'm not going to go into great detail, but if we got corporate clients that you want us to talk to that's in manufacturing or etc. like that, we can talk about job performance aids. Simply, what is a JPA? A JPA is, I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a really simple video that helps somebody learn how to do their job so they don't break an expensive piece of equipment and then they have to cost the company $500,000 and then they have to learn how to do it again. We do it through a visual, if you will. Companies eat that up with a spoon because we save them a lot of money. Makes us look good. Every single class that we have has the textbooks and materials included, and I'm going to tell you there's not a class that we have that you will not be able to reach out to a human being, yes, a real live human being, and get an answer. We have technical support. If, for example, let's just say your Java applet's not right, your version of your whatever your choice of internet browser is not correct, we've got MIS manager to help with that. We've got a subject matter expert to help all of the students that we serve on your behalf answer questions and grade them. And if you so desire that you want your programs to have exams included in the price, our MIS manager will check and make sure that the student completes the class, and if they have, then they will actually work with that student one-on-one, actually on a phone call, not email or anything like that. And I'm trying to stress that we're about relationships and about real human beings talking to one another. We'll actually work with that student and figure out where the nearest testing facility is for them. And we provide you and whoever we need to that student's progress report and their final completion report. And if you say, oh my goodness, this is really great stuff, can you create some customized online classes or in-classroom for us? Yeah, we can. We have the staff to do that. So don't think that it's ProTrain way or the highway. No, it's really our customer way, and that's the way we work. That's the way we roll. So I already told you about the career tracker and the GradCast that nobody else offers. I'm going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to check on myself to make sure. Yep. Okay, so we got the slide here, and we want to work with you to advertise this to your students on behalf of you, that the GradCast is going to help your student connect with employers that have real-life, current, right-now jobs. And it doesn't cost you or the student anything. is phenomenal. And the WIA counselors, workforce development, are eating this up with a spoon. So I'm going to go to the next slide now. Our next slide is talking about our services, our training, our world-class support. And again, I think that what we have to do is, if you like what I'm talking about, we have to have another presentation so I can go into more detail, because I'm not trying to waste anybody's time today, because I know that you all made a conscious decision to say, hey, I love Xenegrade. I want to see what ProTrain's about. We'll tell you more about ProTrain if you like what you heard. We'll go into more detail. But we actually provide you a complete infrastructure setup with assistance, how to set up a marketing website, the creation, the coordination of all the content in classroom, online. It's a web-based, a complete web-based interface that has search engine optimization. I'm going to tell you, I am so proud that we provide our customers, our school partners, SEO, the internet, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Pinterest, all of that. And you have the power to be able, if you know how to use Microsoft Word, you can completely customize your own website, and it looks just like you, and it has all your stuff, and it doesn't cost you a dime, and we'll give you a complete school demo on how to do that. And that does not interfere or conflict with Xenegrade. It's another way for us to help you make sales. And we absolutely will help you with a training assessment manager to take care of your students, to counsel them. And if you so desire to have in-classroom with us, we interview, we recruit, and supply all books, materials, supplies for in-classroom training. We will allow you, if you want, we'll let you even look and talk to the potential instructor, because at the end of the day, believe me, I understand. It's about your reputation. And I understand that so much, because it's, at the end of the day, it's about my reputation with working with about 200 schools. My reputation means a lot to me. And I understand it takes a little bit to screw that up, and it takes a lot of work to maintain it. And I want to maintain it, and I want to maintain it for you. So we're going to provide a complete range of courses for you. The marketing collateral. I mean, we got tons of marketing that's free for you that you can customize. We provide the student services support. We counsel them. We interview the student. We make sure they're right for the class. We get the proper information back from them. We get the proper paperwork if you have specifics based on your school guidelines, the progress reports. We're very flexible in the courses. We also have a loan program if you so desire. Because I know that in continuing ed, sometimes continuing ed departments say, I can't go there, and no, we don't do Pell, and no, we don't do FAFSA because it's continuing ed. But we actually work with a group called Education Loan Source, and ProTrain takes care of all of that. And until that person is approved and confirmed, it's not a headache on you whatsoever. Once they're approved and confirmed, it is a student that we provide to you. We'll give you more information about that if you so desire. I'm going to go to the next slide. And this is really just a sampling of some of our schools. It just shows you we got East Coast, West Coast, middle of the state. I will point out the Military Spouse Employment Partnership logo. That is a designation that a small, medium, large business or a school could apply for, fill out an application, be interviewed, accepted or denied, and then be designated as a military spouse employment partner. And we are. ProTrain is. What that means is we're virtual. We go out of our way to hire military spouses, let them keep their jobs when they PCS, move from one base to another, and they can be promoted. It's awesome. We love it. In a virtual company, we love it. And I'll just say that any of our school partners that we partner with that wants to work with military spouses, we can put that logo on your literature as well, because we're partners. So I'll go to the next slide now, and I'll see. Okay, the next slide is simply just letting you know that we try to match up all of our classes to the Department of Labor's top 25 in demand careers. So we got military programs, skilled trades, health, programming, IT, career, accounting, green, you name it, we got it. And we're constantly doing an inventory and an audit of our programs to make sure that we're tip-top shape, if you will. I'll go to the next slide. And goodness gracious, I am not going to ask you all to try to read that even with your glasses on. This is a slide that when you want to reach back out to us, and we reach out to you if you want to know more about the ProTrain process, it's a life cycle of a student, because there really is a life cycle. When the student contacts us in whatever format, whether it's via email, whether we're at an event on your behalf, they're a contact. How do we assess their needs? What class are they really ready for? How are they going to pay for it? Because we all know we can spend a lot of time talking to a student that has no money. So up front, we need to know, how are you going to pay for it? Then we get them enrolled. Then we register them. We send them their books, or they're going to class, and we provide them the materials. We check on them. Our MIS guy, if it's an online class, he's there to help them. Progress reports. How you doing? People want to know how you're doing. Have you completed? Was there an exam included? If so, how does our MIS person supply that exam for you? And then when you actually really complete your class, that's when we give you the gift of being able to put your resume in and search with up to 100 employers for that job opportunity. I mean, it really is a complete life cycle. We're doing everything except doing the interview for the student. So I hope you can see that we're really more than training. I certainly hope you can see we're more than a company. So I'm going to try my best here. I'm going to pause my screen. I'm going to show you poll question 3, which is the last one. And I'm going to launch that. And you can see that. And I hope I hope the questions make sense. It's really, are you doing it? Are you not? Do you need some help? We can help. Just let us know sincerely, because I have no way of knowing what you're saying, who it is, but it will give us an honest feedback of, do you feel like you need help or not? And right now I see we've gotten 33% so far. I encourage the rest of you to please vote. Got 50% so far, so we're tracking. Keep going. We're at 50%. I'm going to give you guys just a few more seconds here because I do not want to delay anyone. 67. Thank you. Thank you for that. Sort of feel like I used to work for United Way, and we always were doing the polls of how many people had contributed. I sort of feel that way now. So let's make that poll go just a little bit higher. We're at 67. Can somebody else vote? Okay, I am going to close the poll now. I am going to share it. And John, tell me, can you see the shared?
This is Scott. I can see it.
Okay, great. All right.
You can, Betty.
All right, awesome. I'm doing better than I thought I would, guys. All right, so we have shared this, and it's just a true representation of what you all think. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my screen, okay, to the best of my ability. Okay. And John, I am trying as hard as I can to get back to the PowerPoint.
Okay, you just have to, let me hide that, and now share your screen again, the PowerPoint screen. There you go.
Okay, there. Thank you. I told you all I needed, John, and I do. So thank you, John. So I'm going to go to the next slide, which actually really goes back with the poll question 3 for you guys to think about. So the 30% rule in continuing education really can help you. I mean, seriously, you want to diversify. I tell people all the time, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If WIA, workforce development, is working for you great the last 3 months, and you're like, oh, this is my oyster, oh, don't be fooled. You need to say, oh, I know how to do WIA, pat myself on the back. Now I need to learn how to do military. And within the military, I need to know how to do military spouse. I need to know how to do active duty. I need to know how to do veterans. Oh, and then after that, I need to learn how to do corporate, and so on and so forth. So I need to diversify. So 3 ways to analyze your portfolio is by the product, by the segment, how do I deliver it? No one product area greater than 30% of your product revenues. Because when you do that, sure as you know, the government's going to do something to cut off the resources, and you're going to be like, oh my God, they just cut off my WIA funding. Oh my God, they just cut off the military funding. Oh my God, corporations are cutting. So you've got to diversify. I can't stress that enough. You cannot have more than one market segment, more than 30%. We got to be in balance. That's what we got to be, people, and that's what ProTrain can help you do. So I'm going to go to the next slide. All right, and the next slide I'm going to get into, which I'm just going to talk about very generically. Workforce development. I am quite sure that the majority of the people on this phone call does workforce development. The only thing I want to say about it is I believe in it, it works, and ProTrain will work with you, your school, to fill out the paperwork electronically or manually for the programs that the Department of Labor is paying for. We do it in over 23 plus states, and we've done it, and we've got it down to a science, and we can do it for you. And we actually really make contact with the counselors, the directors at the offices, and they love us because they know that we will help them do their job in talking to that potential client/student, figure out if that class that they want is really the one that's going to help them get a job. Because we do know that WIA counselors, directors are graded at the end of the year on their success rate. And we hear all the time, constantly, are you going to guarantee that my person's going to get a job if they take your class? I can't guarantee that. That's why ProTrain's done the GradCast and the job tracker. And that's why we go out of our way to have a training assessment manager be a counselor. So I'm doing everything I can, and I'm very honest when I talk to a WIA office or a school. I'm doing everything I can to help you. Next slide is about in-classroom. Love it. Love to do it. IT, medical, business, green, you name it. I'm going to make the important point here to everybody on this call that is in continuing ed, that is a forward-thinking individual. If you want to increase your revenue and you want to know a way to do it, you get your in-classroom classes approved for VA, because VA currently will only approve in-classroom training. And there's tons of veterans that want certification classes, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't have 25 or 30 years in the military. They have a few years. They still are young. They have children. They have a wife. And they still have to pay a paycheck to pay the house bill, the food bill, and keep the lights on. And they don't have time to go back for a 2-year or 4-year degree. They do, however, have time to go in your in-classroom classes on the continuing ed side and get a certification. You can't help them unless you get that program approved for VA. I'm telling you, we can help you with that, and it will increase your revenues, and it will impress your deans and your supervisors. I'm going to leave it at that. That is, if you got anything out of what I said today, that's one of the most powerful things I've said to you. I'm going to go to the next slide. sort of goes in with what we were saying. We do in-classroom. This is a slide that tells you we do medical. Quite frankly, medical is one of the most popular in-classroom classes we have. Why? Because we're all getting older. We're all baby boomers. We got medication. People are living longer. So we got to have these entry-level certification jobs to help us. It's wonderful. If you're not doing it, please do it with us because it's great. Next slide. This is about our partner support. Everything from the training assessment manager to our instructor to how we work with you as a school, how we service the student, how we actually even provide the internship, externship opportunities for your students that require it. We do that for you. You don't have to do it. We do it for you because we're a partner with you. We're not a vendor. We're your partner. I've already alluded to the military. We've done everything from webinars with military spouses to active duty to National Guard, wounded warrior. I mean, we're here. We're here for you. Believe me, 70+% of ProTrain is either retired military or a military spouse. If you have not engaged your CE department in working with the military, the time is now. The next few slides are going to be real quick. We track what the top 75 courses overall are for 2014, no matter who's paying out of their pocket. And these are in the order. And you will get this presentation, so don't think, oh my God, I didn't see it. The top 45 people paid out of their pocket, self-pay. Same stuff as the other one, might just be rearranged a little bit differently. Workforce development. What is the Workforce Development Office paying for? This is top 45 nationwide that we saw. And lastly, what's the Military Spouse Program paying for? Top 45. And what are ProTrain partners saying about us? I am not going to ask you to read all this. I've just highlighted. Here's one that's been partnered with us for 4 years. They're very satisfied, say we have high quality. We're very professional, and they've grown their revenue over the last 4 years. I mean, I love it. I love it when people tell us that. I'm going to go to the next slide. This is a partner that very near and dear to my heart. I actually am friends with this partner. She says she's never worked with such a dedicated, sincere, and competent group of people. We're professional. We're highly qualified. We're committed to values, and we understand educational needs. I mean, that's what you want your partners to say about you. You want to be proud to be able to work with other people of like interest. The next slide is talking about strategic sales. And yes, we are almost at the end of the PowerPoint if anybody's wondering. We can actually come in and help you and your staff learn how to do more about sales if you like. I mean, we do that internally, and we offer that to you, our partner, as well. And it truly is about strength in numbers. Your staff, our staff, working together, not as a vendor, as a partner. How can we serve your students for educational employment? It's real simple. And the ProTrain way is not complicated. It is the best of breed educational employment ProTrain way of how we do it. I'm going to go over this slide, and then I am going to turn it to Scott for a moment. We've met virtually today, and it is my privilege to meet you virtually, and I sincerely hope that we've excited you a little bit where you will email us and let us get with you one-on-one. So we've met, we've discussed some things. Things yet to be determined would be, what would be an MOU look like? And I can tell you right now, I've dealt with every legal person there is out there. So I understand if your legal people might need to change it a little bit, it's okay. Scott's going to talk about how the ProTrain and Xenegrade partnership works. And once we do all that, and after we get that taken care of, then we get free marketing materials ready for you. We assign a training assessment manager. We enroll students on your behalf, and we're constantly doing feedback. What are we doing good? What do we need to improve on? What are you doing good? What do I want you to do better on? And helping students get to that point of the career tracker So Scott, I'm going to pause and turn it over to you at this point to summarize what you need to tell your clients about ProTrain and Xenegrade.
Right. Thank you, Betty. So, you know, the ProTrain courses are actually already in your system. Technically, they're sitting there. There's an area on the admin menu called Manage ProTrain. You may not have it turned on. However, there is a relationship. Obviously, once you have a relationship taken care of with ProTrain, we'll also work with you, help you with that connection. There's obviously some integration details that need to take place. We've got all the documentation as to how you pull those courses in and actually create sections within your system so that the students can then register and pay. And behind the scenes, those registrations are passed back to the ProTrain system, so there's not any double entry for you or your students, and then ProTrain staff takes it from there and communicates with those students to make sure they, you know, get the books and all the things they need for those courses. So whether you reach out directly to ProTrain or reach out to us, I think probably the first step, I would say, would be to contact, you know, Betty and her staff to discuss some of the course offerings and what ProTrain can offer your organization. If that all sounds great, then I think, you know, obviously we get involved to help you with the kind of finalizing that connection between the three of us.
Scott, I appreciate that sincerely. And I am going to say to the group that I'm looking to see if anybody had asked a question, because again, please do not think that if your question has not been answered that you've been ignored. I'm just looking really quickly here. I see Deborah's on mute. Jane is. Jenny has a question mark on hers. Let me see. And you can see I'm a real person like you guys are, because I'm living through this real. So I would ask you all, and I'm going to go to the next slide. If you do have a question, send it to me now. And this is the last slide that I have up for anybody. It is our thank you slide with our name, our numbers, and our phone and our emails. And this slide really is the true slide, because if you want to work with ProTrain/Xenegrade on our programs in classroom and online, we would be privileged to do that with you, and this is how you can get up with us. I will pause, and I know that Kevin's still on the call. Kevin, do you have any follow-up comments for the group?
First of all, I appreciate everybody being on the call today. I think, if nothing else, you should be able to tell your friends that you heard a very passionate person give you a pitch today. Somebody really cares about students and helping make a difference in their life. Like Betty said, you know, they can take away your car, their kids, your house, just about everything, but the one thing they can't take away is the education that you give yourself, and that is an annuity that keeps paying off again and again. I think the partnership with ProTrain and the fact that ProTrain and Xenegrade have worked together to work out all the technical kinks, so we've not added anything to your inbox at all. We've actually hopefully taken things out of your inbox and out of your business day to make things easier for you to enroll more students and increase your revenues. And we see that happen with over 200 college partners across the United States today, and we'd love to partner with all Xenegrade partners in the future. And I just thank you for being on the call today. That's all I've got, Betty. Thank you.
All right,
Betty, I'd just like to thank you for putting this together, and then thank our customers for joining us today. You know, we feel great about this partnership, and I hope our customers, you know, reach out to you and you know, take advantage of you know, how you can help them enhance what they're already doing. So, Betty, I appreciate what you've done. So, you know, just thank you for putting this presentation together today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Scott. And I won't pontificate. I'll just say love it, mean it. We didn't have a whole lot of people on the webinar, but you know what? It only takes one or a few to make a huge difference. So I challenge all of the people that were on the call to let's rock and roll. Reach out to ProTrain. I promise you it'll be a great decision because we love what we do and we are one of you. So we'll follow up. We'll send you the copy of this presentation. But thank you so much. And I am going to end this presentation and you will get a copy of it. And thank you and have a great productive day.